Hey everyone, Draker here, and I'll be casting a 1 versus 1 on Steps of War. Now we are here with Sock. I know it's not how you pronounce his name, Saki, Sock. He actually mentioned how to pronounce it at MLG a while ago, but it was some crazy ass way, and yeah, so I'm just gonna call him Sock. But he is here as the blue Protoss on the bottom left, and we have Cuba as the green Zerg on the top right spawn. Now, I am going to speed it up a little bit until we get something good going on here. So we do have the extractor trick going on here by Cuba. It's adapted very well by many Zerg players. Apparently, it's been proven that it doesn't benefit you at all. But I mean, I think it gives you just a slight advantage. I mean, you're able to get more drones on the field quicker than your opponent, unless obviously you're going against another Zerg. Now, we do have Saki here is waiting for 150 minerals for his gateway, or no, he is going for a forge. Very odd choice for first building there, as he might be trying to go for mass void arrays. Probably too early to call that off, but I mean, usually don't go for early photon cannons unless you're going to go for an early expansion or mass air units at the start. And we do have Cuba here, is going for his spawning pool. He doesn't have any gas up yet, though. Which I'm kind of surprised. Usually Zerg players get their gas, as he's now just getting his gas a little late than normal, as usually most Zerg players get their extractor first, then their spawning pool, so they can research metabolic boost right off the bat. Now we do have a cannon rush here by Saki. He is placing a cannon behind this mineral line, preventing any sort of quick expansion here by Cuba. So we're definitely going to have a cannon rush by Saki. That's a little out of not normal for pro players to do, but he must have something up his sleeve, as he does have 2 photon cannons on the way, one at his base and then that one behind that natural there, as it just does finish. Now we do have 4 Zerglings are about to finish up here for Cuba, and he is now going to be chasing that probe away, as it does come back now, and those Zerglings should be able to kill that probe, preventing Saki from doing any further scouting. Now we do have an assimilator on the way, as well as in a gateway here for Saki, as he is now getting 2 assimilators, so we might be seeing him go for maybe some stalkers as soon as he can, as he is going to get mass gas, but I still think he's going to go for some sort of mass void arrays. Just because of that start. I mean, that's a very odd start unless you're going to go for some sort of mass air units or carriers maybe. But we will see. As we do now have a layer on the way here by Cuba, it looks like he might be going for a quick spire for mutas, which is fairly normal to do. Just go right to mutas and then build a bunch of speedlings or roaches and mutas, as mutas are great support units. Especially if you can mass them. You can do a bunch of harass, fly in, do a bunch of AoE damage on the mineral line, and then fly back out. As we do now have Roach Warren is almost done here for Cuba, and we also have a Cybernetics Core is now building here for Saki, as he is now getting that wall set up at his base, as well as another gateway on the way. 2 gateways on the way, so we actually might be seeing some mass stalkers any moment now, as he doesn't even look like he's going to bother getting any zealots. I think he has 1 zealot on the field. As he does have 1 zealot, but that's about it. Now we do have a Zergling here by Cuba, going to be scouting out the base, sees what's going up here at the defenses. So he's definitely not going to be able to run that Zergling in there to see anything else. Now we do have a sentry on the way here for Saki, as well as tier 1 ground weapons on the way, as he is researching his warp gates as well. So he looks like he's going to mass some ground units at the start. I gotta say, this is some crazy starting here. Wow, he cancels. I don't even know what he canceled there, as I wasn't paying attention. He's now building a Robo Bay, as he must have scouted that Roach Warren there and decided to go, as we do have a layer now. Is about done there for Cuba. As we do now have that hatchery is on the way for Cuba, so he is now looking to get his natural expansion. It's a little later, as he is at 42 supply now, but it's better late than never. As Cuba is now pushing out with a handful of roaches and zerglings, but actually he might be able to do a bunch of damage here, as there is only a handful of units as well as a photon cannon guarding this choke here. a couple sentries, and a couple zealots, as we do have Warp Gate is getting Chrono Boost to finish, so he can warp in some more units, as he does have a pylon going outside here to warp in some units on the bottom. Now we do have a Spire is now queued up, as well as an Evolution Chamber on the way here for Kuba. So we are going to see him start massing some mutas as well as getting a bunch of upgrades. As upgrades wow, look at this great place. You do not see this at all. Great use of overlords here, as usually you see Zerg players use creep. The creep tumor is to spread the creep, but he's just saying screw it and using the overlords to his advantage. I mean, he might as well, as they usually just fly around and get picked off by phoenixes or stalkers or whatever. Now we do look like we are going to have a little matchup here with a handful of sentries and stalkers against these mass roaches, and the great force field placement there by aTnSocke, splitting up those units there and managed to pick off a couple roaches and a Zergling there. So definitely great placement there by aTnSocke, as he is now pushing out with Immortal, a few more stalkers and a few sentries. As our spine crawlers are on the way now here by Kuba, and I don't think one is going to be able to finish as his units do get up to the natural, and he is going to be trying to kill it before it finishes, and I think he's going to be able to do it. He is able to kill it as it finishes. But another pretty good, decent force field placement there, forcing Kuba to pull back on his units, as he is now still trying to push in to naturals, Kuba's natural. Wow. We also have metabolic boosts and as well as tier 1 ground armor on the way for Kuba, so he's trying to look to get those techs out as fast as possible, as that metabolic boost is incredibly late. But yeah, I mean, at least he's getting it. Sometimes you see Zerg, if they don't even bother getting it early in the game, they either forget about it, or they're so busy in their macro that they just tech everything else, as they think it's a waste. As we do have an observer here by aTnSocke scouting out the base, sees what's up,